It's going to be funny. It's going to be heartwarming, heartbreaking a little bit, but it's going to be, from what I understand and what Ken told us, definitely well worth the watch. I remember last year they did one where they roasted Mickey Redmond, and that was hilarious. So go watch it. It's Fox Sports Detroit. Go to foxsports.com or JamieDanielsFoundation.org. All right, Chris from Tecumseh has been waiting patiently, and I think he wants to take exception to something one of us said about the Jim Harbaugh situation. What's up, Chris?
Hey, guys.
How are you?
Good, thanks. Yeah, I'm a diehard Michigan fan, but I've never really bought into the Harbaugh hype. And it's to the point now where it's like we're getting to the point. I don't want Baylor as far as like running rampant on my campus, but I can't make excuses anymore. You know what I'm saying? We can't settle for, just because he was Bo's disciple or whatever. We cannot settle for this. My kids go to school around Tecumseh here, and I have seen more and more Ohio State gear. And I quite frankly asked the parents, and they said, I let them be fans of whoever they want. And they've never seen Michigan win anything. You know what I'm saying? Growing up around here, I'm the same as John's age. We never saw Ohio State fans here. And I read Pete Samuel's article, and I understand that he may not like him, but we haven't had a running back drafted since Mike Hart. Eastern, the Gov's alma mater had
right.
one. You cannot win without skilled position players. What are we now? Congratulations. We are, we're Baylor. Come on. You got to take, John, I think you're going places, but you have got to take the, I know you're employed, but you have got, he's the quarterback whisperer. He is the quarterback whisperer. I don't care if Joe Milton can throw from his butt cheek 75 yards.
Right, exactly. That I agree.
Yeah. And it's a good point, too, that, like, the kids walking around, I talked about this the other night with my kids. Like, they don't, my oldest is 14. She doesn't know the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. She doesn't know the game like you and I know it. Because in the 90s, it was, when Cooper was there, it was Michigan dominance. It really was. And the kids now, they don't know that. They haven't seen that.
It was Michigan dominance, but they still won occasionally. We don't stand a chance against Ohio State. We don't think, as a Michigan fan now, you know what I want? I wanted the wide receiver from Minnesota to scale out. So I had a chance against, so we had a better chance against Minnesota. And by the way, when I told all my friends that PJ Fleck is a good coach for us, they're like, oh, gimmick. Look at what he's doing, man, in Minnesota. He doesn't have the resources that Harbaugh has everything on the platter. Everything.
There are things behind the scenes with PJ that
Okay. Whatever.
Yeah. But look, I get your point.
Yeah.
It's disappointing, and that's why if they go through another year like this, I'd have no problem if they said enough's enough. But the point is, and I think that Pete Thamel made it, is who's going to make that call? And as John has pointed out, Ward's not going to make the call, and I don't think Schlissel's going to make the call because of the expectations from the people that matter. And it's not you, it's not me. We don't matter in that realm.
Oh, I agree. And one more thing, it's what's scary to me is what you said about like Rocco Spindler. Doesn't it bother you that Kentucky football is better around here than Michigan?
Well, they got one or two kids. Michigan also got
but here.
Yeah, but Michigan also got two kids from two freshmen this year from West Bloomfield. You got Raheem Anderson, right? That's his last name. The offensive lineman from Pass Tech. He's going to Michigan next year. So it's Michigan State, the same thing. Let me ask you this question, Chris. Forgetting about Michigan State too. If you are a top flight kid, and I'm talking about another guy from Donovan Edwards, I think he's going to come down to Michigan or either Georgia or LSU, and I feel he's going to go to one of the SEC schools. Even if Michigan would win, where would you rather go to school? You'd rather go to the SEC. It's nothing to do with Michigan or Michigan State. It's like, come on.
thing that I have a beef with John. John says that he always talks about the Big Ten being equal or even better than the SEC because the SEC is top heavy. I got to disagree. Watching Ole Miss, does Michigan beat Ole Miss?
Well,
Not a chance to heck.
Ole
Not
Miss
a
had
chance
one
to
game.
heck.
Ole Miss had one game. Now, if they can prove they can do it on a regular basis, Mississippi State had one game against LSU.
State beat a fraudulent, and LSU, you guys talk about LSU. LSU lost the record amount of talent.
But hold on. But to Chris's defense, and thanks for the call, Chris. Mississippi, yeah, they had their one game, and they also hung with Alabama for pretty much all that game last week.
Yeah, Ole Miss did, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. If right now, if Michigan's playing Mississippi on a neutral field, who do you think's the favorite?
I think Michigan's still the favorite. But here's what I've got to say. But we don't know what Michigan's going to be this year.
That's true.
And quite honestly, I said this, I'm excited about what Lane Kiffin is doing at Ole Miss, but I need to see it more than just one game.
I agree. All right, our telephone number is 248-539-9797. Still ahead Wednesdays with Wojo, and talk more Michigan stuff. Jay Feely, NFL stuff as well. 97.1 The Ticket.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike C Sports Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
This update is brought to you by Mother Waddles. The Tennessee Titans are now 4-0 on the NFL season after they destroyed the Buffalo Bills last night, 42-16. It was a huge night for Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill, who would throw 3 touchdown passes and run for another in last night's victory.
Just have to keep pushing, keep heading in the right direction. There's a lot of things picking up in this film on a short week, not a pretty quick one. So enjoy the moment. We're heading in the right direction, but I've got to keep the foot on the gas and keep getting better as the season goes on.
Meanwhile, the New York Jets make it official last night as they released veteran running back Le'Veon Bell. The move not really unexpected, since Bell was openly critical of his role with the Jets under embattled head coach Adam Gase. Major League Baseball playoffs last night, the Tampa Bay Rays find themselves now just one win away from a berth in the World Series after beating the Houston Astros 5-2 in Game 3 of the American League Championship Series. With that victory, the Rays now lead in that best-of-7 series 3-0. Over in the National League Championship Series, the Atlanta Braves beat the Los Angeles Dodgers last night 8-7 to take a 2-0 lead in that series. Rocket Mortgage Classic champion Bryson DeChambeau telling reporters last night he'll take the next month off from competing before he plays at the Masters in November. The reason? DeChambeau says he'll use that downtime to improve his swing speed with his new 48-inch driver. Meanwhile, Dustin Johnson, #1 ranked golfer in the entire world, announces in a release yesterday that he has COVID-19 and won't be able to play in this week's PGA Tour event in Las Vegas. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Scheduled to be played by Jay Feely, having some problems making the connection, but that's okay. Show goes on. Wojo will join us at 9:35. All right, John. I got to admit this. All right. When I heard yesterday that Florida had to put a pause on their football program, and we still don't know for how long. We had no idea whether this week's game with LSU at the Swamp would be played. I had, you don't want to see people get COVID, obviously.
No.
Test positive. But I kind of laughed out loud because Dan Mullen, the governor says we can have as many people as we want. Let's fill the Swamp. Texas A&M
performance and the hill, right? The education side. There is a chasm between those two entities.
Actually, there's been you mentioned earlier in the show, Bo and the presidents back in the day never worked out along.
No, but it's been highlighted over the past 7 or 8 months that there's little communication and there's little coordination between what a football coach says and wants and what a university president says and wants. And if I'm, Mr. Fayouks, did I say it right? I have a conversation with him.
I thought it was Fuchs.
Fuchs.
Yes.
Yes.
F-U-C-H-S.
Yes.
F-U-C-H-S.
You would think that there would be a kind of phone conversation that says, hey, let's reel this back in a little bit. I need you to release a statement saying X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? It happens in other industries, right? Your boss says, hey, you made a mistake. Here's what you need to say.
Right. But it just shows you with big schools, football is
King.
What wasn't it when he was the president of Ohio State? Gordon G.
Yeah.
King, whatever he had
Yeah.
in Ohio State.
Yeah.
Basically said Urban Meyer was a trusted player. Remember, he's more important than you.
Right, yeah. And he just,
I don't know exactly what that's what he said.
right. And he said what everybody knows. And it's, a lot of people think, well, the athletic department is the front porch of a university because it's the most visible.
Correct.
But you got to make sure that the visible part is in lockstep with what your message is, especially at a time of a pandemic.
Now, I wouldn't call it a catastrophe or anything like that, but have you been paying attention to the American League Championship Series? And I know baseball has been over way lately, but Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros is going through what a lot of the golfers go through, even professional golfers, that Steve Sachs and Chuck Knobloch went through years ago, called the yips. And his manager, Dusty Baker, called it the yips. Last night, he made another error where he threw the ball to the dirt, trying to double play, basically. The ball in the outfield. That's 3 home runs in 2 days. You're in the playoffs. He had none last season. And all of a sudden, you're not throwing the ball into first base.
You're throwing second base.
Or second base. It's incredible. And it's like, I'm not trying to make fans get either way, but I mean, it's got to be a psychological deal. Obviously, physically, he's okay. He's actually hitting the ball. He hit a home run last night. He's batting over 380 right now. And he had a horrible regular season. And everybody said, well, because of the cheating accusations, well, not accusations, the cheating scandal. And now he can't feel it. I mean, it's probably different for a lineman.
Yeah.
But you played high school basketball at a pretty damn high level. You can play college basketball in one school, but or maybe you're in the foul line and psychologically you can't make a free throw. I mean, or something like that.
It happens. Yes, it's painful, and so when you mentioned that, it's not funny, it's an uncomfortable laugh.
Yes.
Because when you, and I don't know if you mentioned this, you did mention that he didn't have any throwing errors this season.
Right.
It's a 60-game season. This is a guy that has had 47 postseason games.
Yeah.
And did you mention that he has only 1 throwing error in those 47 postseason games?
So it just happens like this.
It does. And the psychological side of sports is something that I didn't consider much when I was playing. I do a lot more now in terms of, because as athletes, we all think we're indestructible. We can do anything. And I never had that moment where I just thought, the moment is so big and I made a mistake, I can't overcome it. But the weird thing about this one is he's hitting the ball well. So it's like he goes in the dugout and I'm fine. I come out of the dugout and I'm in the field and he's a former Gold Glover. I don't know how to explain. I really don't.
I mean, the closest thing I've had it on the golf course where all of a sudden I can't chip the ball without like shanking it, way right or something like that. The other thing, sometimes, club you want over 180 yards. They're real good with short, okay? But because there's water there, you're so freaked out in the water, the ball goes in the water.
Yeah.
Even though if there was no water there, you'd probably put it on the green or at least put it close. But because there's water there, it's all in your mind. It's amazing. They tell you, well, pretend the water's not there.
Right.
How do you pretend the water's not there when you look, you look and you see the water?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, I'm sure he's told, look, just ensuring, warm up for the game, infield practice. I'm sure he's throwing the ball.
Oh yeah, he's looking it in, he's using his hands, he's hopping, he's using his momentum to get into the ground ball, and all of a sudden you throw, everything is one fluid motion.
I'm sure, kickers probably go through that. Than any other.
Exactly, yeah. Kickers, quarterbacks, and you mentioned basketball. The one thing that my coaches always told me, I know a lot of coaches talk about this, if you get the yips in terms of, hey, you can't hit that layup, or you're missing that easy post move, for me it was a post move, that you can always rebound, you can always pass, you can always play defense. But in, Altuve's position, there's nothing he can't hustle anymore in his hustle.
Yeah.
But he is hitting the ball, so maybe that's his go-to. Hey, I'm comfortable at the plate, I'm going to go ahead and make up for my mistakes in the field.
It's always that position, it seems. Steve Sachs. Anyway, infield. Steve Sachs now got the pitcher for the Mets. Matthew Sasser. Throw the ball back to the pitcher. And it's like I said, it was fun to watch him fall to the ground. But mentally, it becomes a mental illness or something that you just can't control.
The gap is between the ears.
Yeah.
I just think once you do something, you never think the time of day of just throwing the ball.
Right.
Once you actually think about throwing it, I think that's when it can start to get in their head. It's letting something it's not supposed to be mental. It's supposed to be the simplest thing they do.
Right, yeah. It's supposed to be muscle memory.
Bay Area Transplant on Twitter says, do you think he's feeling guilty for last year and it's weighing on his mind? I would say no, because the regular season, maybe, because he couldn't hit the regular season, okay? The 60-game season, but he fielded fine. Now, it's just the opposite. He's hitting the snot out of the ball. He's doing great now. It's just these 4 hours and 3 games, whatever it is. It's unbelievable.
It is.
Right now, he's won a Gold Glove, and he's really a good fielder. I mean, it's, a lot of people say, well, who cares? He's a cheater. But it's just sad to watch this happen. All right, coming up later in the program, we'll have our Wednesdays with Rojo segment, but Heather is next with news. What's up, Heather?
Well, I'm going to tell you why the upcoming Halloween holiday has some people calling 911.
Figure out what the hell that's all about. Numbers. 97.1.
All right, everyone, I need to talk to you about your hair. Have you been noticing hair loss or thinning hair? Maybe it's even due to the stress from the pandemic, or maybe it even started far before the pandemic began, but either way, it can be devastating. But there is a solution. You need to see Michigan's #1 hair restoration specialist, Dr. Berkowitz at Michigan Hair Restoration. Dr. B, I know you've heard his name before. He is the #1 provider in hair transplants and has over 25 years of experience. Plus, he provides the most advanced techniques available to help actually restore thinning or balding hair in both men and women. And when you hear that, that doesn't always mean a transplant, because that can sound kind of scary. In fact, many people can actually regain growth without surgery at all. And here's the best part. For a limited time, you can take advantage of $1,000 off retail price of your hair restoration procedure and 0% financing when you call and mention my name, Heather, or mention 97.1 The Ticket. So there's no excuse. What are you waiting for? You deserve to look younger, to feel more vital and more confident. So schedule your appointment today. Just go to MichiganHairRestoration.com.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ 950 AM Traffic Center, this report sponsored by Toro Company. Watching here, many spots of slowdowns in the I-75 work zones, including southbound I-75 between Long Lake and Big Beaver. Once again, southbounders slow along I-75 between 696 and 9 Mile. And northbound I-75 from 13 Mile to Maple, delays through this stretch. Now, aside from that, northbound 275 at Willow Road, 2 left lanes are closed here until 3 p.m. For grizzly winters, you need a Toro Power Max snowblower. It's a beast on snow. Act now. Get up to $100 off select Toro Power Max snowblowers. See your Toro retailer now. Win winter with a